Hey guys, it's Jake from the future. Before we get into this week's episode, I want to tell you something weird that happened so that when it affects you, you won't be surprised. Basically what happened was our first episode vanished from the iTunes store and from our feed that we used to put it on the iTunes store. We either had to or we are about to re-upload it, and then we are going to fix all of the other episodes so that they are in order, and that might make them re-download for you if you're subscribed on iTunes. So I just wanted you to not be startled by that if you click refresh feed and then 26 episodes pop up. Yeah, that's it. On to our regularly scheduled episode.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Morphin Grid. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
We just did it. I already forgot.
And today we're going to be watching the 26th episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And Josh is really bad at introing these, but I make him do it every other time anyway.
That's fine, as long as you don't mind picking up my slack after the initial part. We'll be fine.
Today we're going to be watching Gung Ho, which Josh does not remember, but I told him he would immediately as soon as we play it.
I don't remember it by the name, but I trust you.
Yeah. So what we do here, if you're new, that is switching it up. What you gonna do?
I don't like it. I don't like that.
I didn't like that either. I wish I could go back.
You can.
I can. I could edit, but I won't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause the recording. We're gonna go watch the episode Gung Ho of Power Rangers, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about it. If you have Netflix or the DVD sets or the DVD volumes, which aren't really sets,
or the old VHSs,
or if you got VHS, this is definitely on a VHS. I think.
I'm pretty sure.
I said definitely, and then I put a qualifier in there because then I realized that might be.
They're not all on VHS?
No. They released them as like, here's 2 episodes.
Oh, and there were some that's like, here's some Ranger episodes about the Red Ranger.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember those covers.
Yeah, it's pretty good covers. Billy's had Pudgy Pig in it.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so you can watch along with us. Just, you have to pause and then go watch the episode, or else we'll be talking through it. It'll be a mess.
Or maybe you've watched it already if you're not new here and you're in the swing of things.
Yeah, maybe you just watch it before you even jump into this. Either way, we're going to watch Gung Ho now because
it's Morphin time.
And we're back. We just watched Gung Ho, and I told Josh that he would know what it was immediately, and he kind of did.
He was right.
So
no, I thought it was a different one at first until they got to the command center, and then I figured out which one it actually was.
Yeah, I
because that's about halfway through. So of course I figured it out by then.
I'd hope so. I knew immediately. I mean, I knew beforehand because I remembered the title. I didn't remember how often they used the title in the episode.
There's another episode, unless I made this one up, that starts in a similar way later on.
Maybe. Stay tuned.
Because I don't want to spoil anything.
But
there's an episode where Tommy and Jason are under a spell and they hate each other. That's a real episode, right?
Yeah, that's the shark episode.
I could have sworn that was this one because they started off needing to be a team, but they were competing instead.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the episode.
Okay. So before we do that, morphingrid.tumblr.com. You can email us at littleidiots.morphingrid@gmail.com, or you can talk to us on Twitter at morphingrid. Those are all the cool places that we hang out about the internet, on or about the internet. And yeah, so also we're on iTunes. You can leave us a rating review if you like, because you're cool people. I can tell you're here. So you got to be at least a little cool.
At least, yeah.
I mean,
at least as cool as us. And we're pretty cool guys.
Oh yeah.
So I posted a video on your Facebook about a game called Tomodachi Life.
Did you?
Yes.
When?
You haven't seen it yet, I assume.
Did you post it today?
No, it was last week sometime.
I do not remember that. I'll have to go back.
But basically, it's the super Japanese version of The Sims that you can use your Miis in.
Oh, you did. I didn't watch the video though. because I saw it at work and then I forgot about it by the time I got home.
Well, I was on a message board today. This has to do with how cool we are, right?
Right.
And somebody asked, like, what kind of Miis are you going to put in your Tomodachi Life game? And I was like, probably a bunch of wrestlers and Power Rangers actors, because I'm kind of the coolest guy.
He's kind of basically the coolest guy there is. Anyway, let's just talk about Power Rangers. What do you say? Sound like a plan?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
We'll do a different podcast about how cool we are.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the next April Fool's one. It's just us tooting each other's horns.
I almost just said something that I would have had to cut.
That's why I'm the PG.
Yep.
I know all the PG phrases and cliches.
Yes, because there were a couple times where I just straight up swore, and then you told me what I was trying to say, and then I cut them together. So we start out with Jason and Tommy kickboxing. That's the best style I can describe it as. They got boxing gloves on. They're not kick pads, but they're like little footy pads. they're like kick pads, but for the top of your feet.
Right.
And so they're just, kickboxing, but they can't seem to get it together. Okay,
it keeps devolving into them competing against each other.
And which I understand is like the theme of the episode, right?
Right.
And Zach is their manager, and I guess Billy's their
promoter,
their strategy guy.
Maybe
Zach is their corner man,
right?
And Billy's the manager.
Yeah.
And then,
Zach's like their trainer.
Yeah. There we go. So Zach's like, you gotta get together. You're never gonna win the Team Ninja finals.
I can't wait till we talk about that.
By the way, these are the finals. So there have been episodes that we could have had them doing Team Ninja
tournament
semifinals.
Oh man,
Team Ninja quarterfinals, Team Ninja qualifying rounds. Instead,
they dropped the ball.
They just boom. Here's the finals. Because I feel like there were a couple episodes that I was not thrilled with recently that we could have just had ninja tournaments. But alas, it wouldn't make any sense because they wouldn't have got along, and how would they have gotten to the finals? Just by being good, but they gotta,
maybe everyone that they fought was just garbage up until this point.
Up until now, because now it's the finals. You weed it out.
It's the finals, but they don't know their opponents until Bulk and Skull bring them in.
Well, their opponents are ninjas,
right? But they've never seen them before.
Is this like an intercity?
Tournament? It needs to be.
Because if
they won the Angel Grove tournament.
Right.
And these other ninjas who, in my head,
are Danny Pudi.
Well, the one looks like
Rocky.
He could be Danny Pudi, but it's Rocky
Pudi
and Adam.
Yeah. Well, no, one of them is definitely way tanner than Rocky, and the other one could be Adam. So it's Danny Pudi.
But it's Rocky and Adam. They hadn't casted Adam yet because he wasn't a thing. He wasn't even a thought in their head yet.
Right, because they didn't know that.
Yeah, they didn't know that 3 Rangers were just going to leave. We're going to go to a peace conference.
Right. Sometimes you just got to go to a peace conference.
Forever. Because you leave Angel Grove and you can never come back. Except Jason.
Only during the movies, or if there's another Ranger for you to be. But back on track, they're like sparring, and like Jason, I don't remember exactly what happens, but Tommy grabs Jason and literally back body drops him onto his head.
It's a Northern Light suplex, but he just drops him on his head.
But he just slams his head straight down into the ground. I don't know how that stuntman took it. I don't know how
that wasn't him. I thought that was him.
I feel like
I could have sworn that was them.
Maybe that's when he's like, I need more money for this.
Right.
I'm not getting paid enough.
Because it definitely cuts to a different
shot
of them laying on the ground. Like a different take.
That's 15 days later. After his
concussion is kind of worn
has subsided, he can finally think straight again. Then they go to they're fighting with the I don't know what they're called.
The American Gladiator cotton swabs.
The cotton swabs. If it was Star Trek, the baklava. That's not it. Bat lava. there's a thing in Star Trek where the Klingons have basically the same thing, but they're dangerous.
Isn't baklava a food?
It's
like a pastry.
Yeah, it's really good.
Definitely, I've never had it.
I've had it a couple times. I enjoy it. It's definitely not fighting with giant.
You don't fight
swabs,
with it.
so.
Yeah, no.
Then they go to kendo sticks, and it's basically every single time they.
Those
switch.
are called shinais.
Yes.
In Power Rangers, and probably not in anything that's not wrestling.
Yeah, and they only became kendo sticks in like
when Steve Blackman started using, because I think
they were Singapore Canes.
They were Singapore Canes.
Yeah. That's the history of kendo sticks as told by professional wrestling. And every fight they have is basically it, like you said earlier, it devolves into them competing.
Right.
But how are they going to improve their teamwork if they're literally fighting each other?
If they're practicing against, they should be practicing against Zach and Billy.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, it's just.
We get to the competition, and it kind of makes sense why they're practicing against each other.
Yeah, because it's got rounds, and they kind of switch off.
Yeah,
we'll get to that later. But yeah, it's just a weird thing that you guys aren't being a very good team sparring against each other. Well, duh, Zach.
Right, because the point of sparring is to win,
to beat the other person.
It's first and foremost, it's to practice whatever fighting style you're sparring with.
Sparring with, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a preposition,
but it's
so you don't
still
have any sense there, but still, that's as close as it can get.
You're still sparring against somebody.
Right. Yeah. I get when I was 4, or I think 5. Oh, I forgot to mention when it aired, October 25th, 1993, which was 5 days before the Halloween episode, which was last week's episode to you, but it hasn't gone up yet as of this recording. So they can't seem to get it together, and this is when Trini's like, you guys need to Gung Ho.
Which I always thought meant...
Or to learn how to Gung Ho. Yeah.
I thought it just meant just charging in and fighting.
Yeah, Gung Ho to me is go get him. Just get at it. But apparently it means to work together in Chinese. But
I looked it up on Google Translate. I typed in work together in English and had it translated into Japanese. I mean, not Japanese, I'm sorry, Chinese. It's a Japanese show originally. I'm confused.
Maybe that's your problem.
Basically all the time. I just opened Amazon, which isn't going to help me. Here we go. So the English word work together or teamwork, both of them translate the same way.
Same thing.
To a word that I'm probably saying wrong because there's weird accent marks in it. But it's Hezuo. Hezuo, and the E and the O have...
Let me see.
Accent marks that the ones that look like apostrophes, but they're going in opposite directions.
Right. My best guess is Heijo.
Heijo?
Because Z's are kind of J's. According to Jew Ranger.
That's Japanese.
I don't know any other... I can swear a little bit in Mandarin. That's about it. That's as far as...
So there's that.
But this is the first time Trini says... You need to learn how to Gung Ho. And they try to make Gung... I feel like they're trying to create a new catchphrase, and it did not catch on.
Oh, no.
But then we jump up to the moon for a hot second, where Rita is assembling... Or she's not even assembling super parties. I don't think it even goes to her. I think it's just a voiceover with her saying...
No, they're all there. Remember, Frankenstein's still there.
It's later.
That's later?
Yeah. Yeah, that's way later. Not way later, but later. But I think it's just like a shot of the moon and her going, my putties will wipe them off the map.
I don't even
because they can't work together.
Okay, yeah.
LOL.
Is she? I thought she was there for that.
She might have been.
Maybe it was just an exterior shot, though.
That's what I remember.
I remember her looking... You okay? You just saw the next episode?
Not the next episode, the one after that.
Yeah, well, we're not doing those today.
I know, and I'm excited for the next episode anyway. Hey, let's power through it.
I forgot. I remember her looking through her telescope, but that might just be burned into my brain.
That's just that's like my go-to. Like Rita was there yelling at the Earth, but I think it might have just been a shot of Club Pandora.
It might have been. I don't remember. I'm not going to watch it again right now.
No.
So
Tweet us, guys.
yeah, let us know.
Tell us how wrong we are. So we jump back down to Earth, where they still can't get along, and Zach is growing weary of it. He's about to quit. Billy has a stopwatch, and he is timing how long it takes them to fall apart as a team. That's the only thing I can. That's the only reason for the stopwatch.
That's a weird thing that I noticed later when Bulk and Skull bring their ninjas in, and I'll talk about it when we get there.
That's in 1 second.
Okay.
That's right now, if you want to.
Oh, well, they come in, and then, like, Bulk comes in dressed like a cheesy 70s wrestling manager.
He's Captain Lou Albano.
And Skull is a referee.
Right, with, like something spray painted on his shirt. Like, no rules or something. I don't know.
But they bring in these two stereotypical ninjas. They're just covered in black with their faces wrapped.
Danny Pudi.
One of them has Danny Pudi eyes. Which would be really funny.
He would have been young.
He would have
been
a baby.
15 tops. This is 20 years ago. He's barely older than you or
yeah. I was 8 20 years ago.
So he would have been like 10 max. I don't think I don't think he's over 30.
So it wasn't him.
So Danny Pudi, if you're listening, email us. Tell us.
Retweet us, please, if you're listening. That'll get us at least 2-3 more people. Yeah, they come in and everyone's like, "Whoa, look how they're dressed. They must be real ninjas."
Yeah, everyone's really impressed just by the fact that they have cowls on.
Yeah, and then they spar to like show off.
Yeah.
And Billy's timing them.
Yeah.
And he looks at his stopwatch and then he looks up and he's like, "They're very proficient."
And Zach says, "Yeah, and they're good too."
And then both Billy and Kimberly look at Zach
even
like...
Kimberly's like, "Come on."
But when the other ninjas are sparring, nobody wins. So I guess that means they're a way better team right now.
Yeah, basically, one of them dodges the other one until the other one attacks, and that one dodges that one. And that makes you a good team. It's not being able to hit your friends.
It's synchronized karate.
I guess. It was pretty impressive.
It was. I noticed while we were watching that like, just this martial arts show off is something that I don't remember happening in the 10 episodes of Megaforce that I watched.
No, there was.
It doesn't really happen.
A couple times where
it doesn't really happen a lot post Zeo.
There's a couple times where Jason is like, not Jason, Jaden.
Troy.
That wasn't even close. Megaforce is terrible.
I don't remember the Blue Ranger's name, but I remember the rest of them. Noah.
They couldn't remember the Red Ranger because he's just...
Jason? Jaden? Oh, Troy.
Troy, of course. I was 2 away. All right? And next was going to be Jordan, and then obviously Troy is after that. But he does... there's a couple times where he is like on a rooftop or in the woods, like... Just like
right, but it's only like 10. It's
for like
just
4
10-second katas.
But it's just him. Yeah, there's one time where he kicks a water bottle in half or something. Megaforce is weird.
But yeah, even like
we'll talk about that in 6 to 7 years.
In Turbo, even before the changing of the guard, like it's just stock shots of Tommy driving a race car.
The last time I can remember there being a sparring tournament, and again, I haven't.
Is when Tommy and Adam spar in Zeo.
No, in a Turbo movie, when there's like a tournament that Tommy wins, and Rocky is like kicked out and lands on his back and can't be a Power Ranger anymore.
Right, that's right. Ugh. Look at Justin.
Hey, I like Justin. I'm not sure.
I like how Kat turns into Justin's mom.
Well, he doesn't have a mom. His mom
he does now.
His mom just left.
But you'd think this is the first season of Power Rangers, and they're building this franchise on martial arts. You think it would continue to be part of the show.
I feel like once, and I mean, I don't remember. There are some seasons I haven't seen anything of, like Operation Overdrive. Haven't seen a single episode of it.
There's plenty of seasons that I haven't seen.
There's some seasons where, like, I don't think I've seen a single episode of Samurai. I've seen a little bit of, like, I saw like 2 episodes of RPM. So, like, I don't know if there are more going forward. Like, after pretty much after Lost Galaxy, and no, I watched Lightspeed Rescue too. After Lightspeed Rescue, I kind of passed the Power Rangers torch to my little brother,
Right.
and then like I still watched occasionally, but I didn't commit it to memory as well. So there could be thousands of sparring scenes that we just don't know about, but I don't think so.
I feel like in this season,
Maybe what happened was the Zeo fight between Tommy and Adam happened.
is the best,
and they went, "We're not topping that."
I think what happened is that in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and in Zeo, because they just carry over for Zeo, they hired these kids based on how well they could either fight, dance, or do gymnastics, like how athletic,
how well they could move,
well they could move. And then I think later it's just like, how good do they look? Because Megaforce isn't an ugly cast.
No,
I mean neither is this one.
No, Gia could hashtag get it. That's a fact.
But I just feel like I'm just gonna keep moving on. I just feel like it stopped being about the martial arts and started because Troy, whoever plays Troy, whatever his name is, I'll figure it out.
He's a model.
He's a model.
His name is. I'm not even gonna try. I think it's Andrew, but I don't know.
maybe it's Jaden.
Maybe it's Jaden. I don't know.
But yeah, just I feel like the casting qualifications changed at some point.
I don't think it became,
because I mean there's still scenes in Megaforce where they're like training in the woods, but they're very short.
Yeah, like I think that they still need to have some sort of ability to like maneuver well, but I think it hasn't. It stopped being like the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas
Catherine Sutherland is a swimmer. She's like a diver.
But yeah, like whereas Jason David Frank was chosen because he could spin kick for days.
Indefinitely. He could just do it until you tell him to stop.
Yeah, forever. 5 ever, probably. He could probably still be spin kicking from that day if they didn't
stop
later.
him.
And now I feel like they're like, how high can you kick?
Right.
Okay, well, you're pretty, so you go to the next round. Like, I feel like it's still there, but you're right.
It's not the focus it is. Like, especially in season 1.
Yeah.
Where basically every time they're at the juice bar, at least Jason and Zach are sparring, and
there is some sort of thing, or Kimberly is doing
gymnastics.
Flips.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the thing that kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things we're gonna have to keep an eye on going forward. Is like how well the characters karate going forward.
Right.
Because I know. Like the new Turbo people, like as far as I know, with the exception of maybe blanking on names.
TJ?
No, not
Cassie.
TJ. Not
you wouldn't forget Cassie.
I wouldn't forget Cassie.
The
Yellow Ranger.
Oh God, Ashley.
With the exception of Ashley, and even she might have had a background. I feel like everyone had a pretty good background in that. And then Andros, who again I don't know his real name. He also was a martial artist,
right?
And I mean, maybe they just became less of a thing,
right?
Or maybe we just noticed it less.
That might be too.
So
we'll just have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
We'll find out in about 6-7 years when we get there.
You'll be the first to know. Oh, time for our first segment. What was Kimberly wearing?
Part 1, because part 2 is going to kill you.
Part 2 killed the man. Spoiler alert. No, I'm not going to spoil it for you. You probably already, even if you didn't see it, it was a sundress. It was good. It was good times for everybody. So she's wearing a white tank top with like flowers on it and hot pink pants and a headband. And I feel like this is the same outfit from 2 episodes ago. And that Kimberly, the person, the character, was like, I look good in this. I'm going to wear it again to the juice bar. Because she doesn't repeat straight outfits very often.
No.
Maybe, oh no, I think that was a striped shirt. Now I'm thinking about it.
So it's different. This one's different.
But anyway, looks good. Everything looks good on her. I don't think there's a single thing. Even when she's wearing like a tarp She has that weird frock on. She looks good in Rita's clothes.
Pulling it off.
All right, moving on.
Oh, I just remembered that. Oh,
her being Rita.
Her as Rita.
Her Rita voice is crazy good. I also wrote down in my notes, she nice, and I have it phonetically spelled out because I didn't know how to spell it.
Say it so that you know how to say it. You have it phonetically spelled so you know how to say it, not spell it.
I also didn't know how to spell it. So I just put she nice.
Right. But spelling it phonetically is not showing you how to spell it, which is what you said. It's showing you how to say it.
Right. But I still don't know how to spell it.
Moving right along. I imagine it's Shinai. But that's just a guess. Who knows?
Who knows? I put she space Nye as in Bill Nye.
As in Bill Nye.
but a couple Bill Nyes.
Right.
They do a power kick at the end also. This
was
quotes, power kick, where it's just a kick. They both just jump kick.
One of them does a kick. The other one didn't get his leg up fast enough and just kind of bumps into it.
Into a punching bag, which swings out of the way and stalls long enough for Bulk to set up the fact that he's about to get hit with this thing. And then he gets hit with this thing. What a shock. Bulk gets hit with a thing. Not the first time this episode, but not the last time.
Well, he doesn't get hit with a thing again.
That's true. Anyway, then we jump back to the moon, where Frankenstein is just chilling in the corner despite being dead.
Because he's still in the stock footage from the Super Putty Ball?
Yeah, because it's a 2-part episode in Z-Ring.
Right.
It has to be, because there's a lot that doesn't make sense by itself.
Or maybe they just made another Frankenstein, because whatever.
I don't know. But he's just standing there just so stoically. Just like, good clay. But they don't talk about him. I think they're hoping that you don't recognize or
you just don't notice that he's there.
He's just chilling like an idiot.
Like he's far enough in the background, but there's one shot of Rito where he's right there.
And he was drilled in half last episode. He was drilled.
Maybe they made a new one out of
exploded.
Super Putty.
They should have made monsters out of that Super Putty.
Yeah, no, I think we talked about that.
Yeah. Dropping the ball, Rita.
She's off. She's stupid.
She's stupid. So we're gonna send the new putties down, the Super Putties, and they're gonna kill the Power Rangers because they are invincible. Can't beat these Super Putties because they're made of red clay and not ugly.
They're made out of Super Putty.
Super Putty. Putty is
or Super Clay.
I'm
pretty sure they said Super Putty.
They said Super Putty, and Putty is like
it's mushy. You can copy a newspaper on it.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't come out putty. That's you have to make.
You have to make putty.
It's rubber based, sort of. It smells awful.
Putty.
That's what he's saying. Oh my god. Oh, purrikin. Or puttykin. But anyway, jump back down to Earth, where Kimberly and Trini are failing the Bechdel test, and they're talking about two dudes.
Failing the what?
The Bechdel test. It's a test to determine. I don't know what it is to determine, but basically, it's pass-fail. You have to have two female characters talk about something that isn't their love life or the main character, the main male characters.
Okay.
And it's sort of like a benchmark of this movie isn't. It's how well you're treating females in each story. It doesn't have to be a movie, but it's whatever. And I feel like this one kind of squeaks by because they're not really talking about them
in any kind of romantic way.
They're
just talking about them as they pertain to the plot.
Yeah. So I think it's still a fail in terms of pass-fail, but it's not as bad as it could be.
Right.
But anyway, enough about that.
And the acting is really stiff in this one scene of them walking.
Yeah. And then Trini drops Gung Ho. No, Trini doesn't.
Not yet. No, hang on.
Because they are attacked by Super Putties.
Yes.
Which are, meet the Super Putties, same as the old Putties, but with bigger hands.
But you knock them down and they get back up instead of disappearing.
Instead of dying, they don't. And oh no. And they got big hands.
I feel like their faces are different, but you never see them long enough.
It has a boulder He's got like a wrecking ball for a hand, and he straight up just like clubs Kimberly in the nog with it. But before that, they like back into a corner, like against a playground.
Yeah.
And Kimberly's like, "Ooh, we got a Gung Ho."
It's time to Gung Ho.
It's like, oh God, stop trying to make Gung Ho a thing. It's not going to be a thing.
Never going to be a thing.
Yeah, they just have big hands. Some of them are just regular, like Mickey Mouse hands.
Right.
That's why they're supers, because they're part Mickey Mouse. And they, I guess it happens in this fight, but Trini gets hurt? Trini gets knocked down?
Yeah, Trini gets knocked down, and the putties, like, swarm her. So Kimberly has to, like, go over there and keep them off of her, because they're not giving her a chance to get back up.
She calls Zordon. She's like, "We need help."
Or maybe she took a wrecking ball to the gut and just got the wind knocked out of her.
So then they go, "Zordon, we're getting beat up. We need help."
Yeah, we got putties and we can't stop
Zordon.
them. Oh, crap, Zordon.
Oh, crap, Zordon. And so then we jump back to Jason and Tommy.
Tommy's holding the punching bag and Jason's punching it. And they're obviously tight. They've been training all day.
Right.
Because Trini said that while they were walking, is that Zach was going to be with them all day. Yeah. She didn't mention Billy, who was also with them all day.
Right.
That's okay, because we get some Truly Watch later.
Billy had plans later.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be with them all day, but...
So Jason's punching the punching bag, and then he, like, falls on it, and Tommy's like, "Man, you really blew that last combination." And Jason's like, "Man, I'm tired."
I'm tired. What do you want from me? And then Zordon calls. And so he takes his boxing glove off, and he's got his communicator. But you know how, like, they touch the button to, like, talk or listen harder? He's doing that with his giant boxing glove hand, because he didn't take it off both hands. So he's got this big old boxing glove, like, trying to gently touch the button on the communicator. And I was like, that's a Jason thing to do.
It is.
He's just like, "Oh, what?" So they're like, "Oh, Trini, Kimberly getting murked in the park, you know. The most dangerous park in America, Angel Grove Park."
Only if you're a Power Ranger.
Or someone Power Rangers adjacent.
Or a friend of the Power Rangers for that episode and then never heard from again.
So they run out the door, and then they run up. It, like, cuts in, like, a diamond pattern. It, like, unfolds like one of those, like, who do you secretly like? Pick
a
purple.
number. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're made of boogers.
Now pick a color. Purple. Purple. Oh, you're gonna die tomorrow. Sorry. I don't know why it got really dark.
I like that you're made of boogers, because it was always just girls making fun of boys with those. At my school,
in my school, it was like 50-50.
There was maybe one good one out of the, like, 8 that you can land on.
Yeah. Or like 100. I don't know how.
And even the good one was like, you win. It wasn't anything like complimenting.
We won't make fun of you right now. Stupid. Okay, so they show up to the park where Kimberly is fending putties off from a nearly dead Trini, who's, like, on the ground and just can't seem to, like, get up, even though she could have.
She looks like she can't catch her breath.
That's probably
So I'm thinking she got punched in the gut. Punched in the gut and then, like, clobbered in the back of the head. And she was just like, nope,
she's
not
loopy,
today.
Yeah. And so... what we got? What's that? Is it Truly Watch? It is.
It's Truly Watch.
Because here's what happens. Billy goes up to deck Trini, like, immediately.
Yeah, they run up. He sees Trini down and Kimberly's standing over her. And he's just like, "I got Trini. You guys do whatever."
He shoves Kimberly out of the way.
He shoves her.
He summons all of his nerd strength, and he just, like, pushes her out of frame.
And he's like, "I got this."
And then,
he says something along the lines of, "I got this. You go."
Yeah. And it was...
You get out.
You thought Truly Watch was dead.
I did, and I was proven wrong.
You were proven wrong. And
that's all we get, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how much more can we have it? I mean, there have been episodes.
This is like they broke up and Billy's trying to salvage it.
That might be what it is. And they're still friends because, you know,
because they're Power Rangers.
They're Power Rangers. Oh, that'd be a good storyline. They can't hang out. I'll only show up when there's power ranging that needs to be done. You hear that? Guys making Dino Charge. Is that the next one? Yeah, Dino Charge. Anyway,
I was just mimicking your face back at you because I knew you were right, but I was like, what is that?
I've never heard these words together.
I'm excited for Dino
There's like a
Charge.
million Rangers. I'm super.
There's like
pumped.
12.
I know.
Yeah.
So one cyan.
Yep.
That's great. That's getting weird with the colors. Not like. So then, Jason's they're back up because Trini got up at some point.
Just the Cyan Ranger will probably just be light blue in America.
I mean, maybe
We'll find out.
we'll see.
It's not coming out till next year, so
Yeah. So they run up to they back up to the same playground, I think, as earlier. They're like, we need to go to the command center and regroup. They go back to the command center where they're like, these putties are so strong. I don't think they're regular putties.
yeah. Because Jason's like, I've never had this much trouble with putties, not since that first episode.
Yeah, when we didn't know what to do. And Zordon's like, no, they're super putties, made from super putty, which I should have told you about. I should have warned you, because clearly I know before right now, and I could have told you.
Maybe he was still doing a bio scan. Those things aren't quick.
Because I was watching Rita get all this
make
super,
the super
putty.
Oh, because he says that. He says there's super putty made from the super putty that Rita mined last episode.
But instead of just being like, Rangers, watch out, putties are now stronger. Let me send you to get a thing.
Also, if you can't beat them, that's an escalated battle. Can't you morph?
Well, they do next. Because they say, oh, they're attacking a factory.
Not a factory.
You know, the Angel Grove factory.
One of them. Because it's a factory, not the factory.
Yes, it is a factory. And so they're like, all right, everybody go, except Jason and Tommy. You two hang back. The others need to go stall them. Well, I'm throwing you into the lion's den. Don't die before we get the phlebotinum.
Right, because Jason's like, you guys stall him as long as you can. And Trini's like, yeah, duh. She says, like, oh, we will. But, like, in a way, that's like, well, no crap.
Duh.
No crap, Jason.
No, I was going to go down there. I was going to let them beat me to death with their giant fists.
I was going to warp down there and then run away.
And then leave. Let them finish attacking the factory. Now we'll never
Is it an abandoned factory? It must be.
Why would they attack it if it was abandoned? Why would they attack it even if it wasn't abandoned? Unless
So
it makes something
there's just
super
all these super
important.
buddies punching a factory.
Right. Rita hasn't figured out like what is important to Earth yet. So she's like,
So
that
she
makes
attacks
stuff.
abandoned buildings.
Go get it. Kill it. So then they teleport out and they're like, you two need to go to this mountain. And here's two halves of a map.
Yeah, you have to work together because you both have different halves of a map.
Right. And then they leave, and then Alpha's like, that was a terrible idea. And Zordon's like, no, it wasn't.
It
was the best idea I've ever had.
They need to learn how to work together so they can win their karate competition.
Which is very important to the survival of the Earth, I guess. But they go to this mountain in Angel Grove. Seems convenient that it's in Angel Grove. I don't know.
It's somewhere because...
Well, it has to be somewhere.
It has to be somewhere.
Can't be
I mean,
nowhere.
it's somewhere on Earth. They're not in like a different dimension or something. Because Titanus is there.
Yeah.
And he's on Earth because they use him in fights later.
Right. And so Titanus is just shooting at the thing.
This is when I figured out what episode it is,
Yes.
by the way. I was like, oh, this is the one with Titanus.
Yeah. And so they're like, Jason's like, oh, I found
the marker.
Which is a weird geometric rock.
Right. And Tommy's like, ugh, I hate it when you find the marker.
You wouldn't find it if you didn't use it. It's on my half of the map. And then Jason just kind of shakes his head a little bit. He's like, so? And I was like, how is that like a thing?
I think the point is that like
they can't get along.
They can't get along, but Jason says, I found the marker when they were clearly together.
Right, yeah.
So, and that happened earlier too. I don't think we mentioned it. After the ninjas sparring display, Jason says, I could beat them. And then Tommy says, I could too.
That's right.
So it's just, there's a lot of I's instead of we's.
Right. Which is the theme of the episode.
Yes.
And so they're like, all right, marker's here, which means we got to go this way. So they start walking that way, and it kind of the camera turns into the viewing globe. Like it doesn't like pull out, but like it sort of is like here's what we're watching, the episode of Power Rangers, and then it changes to show the viewing globe watching the same camera. Like the camera didn't cut.
Right.
And it was really neat. And it shows that Zordon is watching them. And this is when he's like, no, this is my best idea ever. I'm so smart.
I'm the best mentor.
I'm so good at this. He's terrible.
He's bad.
He's bad at it. And so then we go up to the moon, and they're like, oh, I forget what happens, but Rita just yells, I'm so bad.
I don't remember that.
I forget what the context is, but I think she's just gloating about something. She's gloating about being so bad.
Oh, maybe she's probably watching the putties beat up the other Rangers.
Probably, yeah, because they're getting beat up. Like,
Yeah.
they just can't keep their footing at all. They're just like...
Because when
bowling ball hands and
when
Mickey
Zordon
Mouse hands.
is talking about them, he's like, they're made out of super putty, and they're almost invincible, or they're basically invincible, except for the Jurinja guns.
Yes.
Which we'll get to.
Yeah, which we'll get to, which I definitely had. Unless I didn't, because it wasn't a thing.
It looks like there might have been a Nerf gun with a very similar design.
Maybe. I feel like I had this gun.
I don't doubt for a second that they made a toy out of it.
Yeah, they made toys out of the
bikes that they never had.
They never have. Yeah, it's basically only in the Ranger footage. Who knows? I'll Google it later. So they get to the base of the top of the mountain. It's not the top of the mountain.
It's not the peak.
Yeah,
but like it's in sight.
It's like this is the final descent, and there's like this pedestal.
It'd be an ascent because they're going up the mountain.
You're correct. So there's a pedestal, and there are.
It's like a treasure chest on it.
A treasure chest, and there are 5 statues, and each one is the 5 regular Zords dinosaurs. It's a regular dinosaur version of the Zords.
Right.
Like a clay model. So if Rita got her hands on them, she
can
could
make
make her own
monsters out of
Zords.
them. Or she could just bring those dinosaurs to life.
Yeah. Make them big. Something.
And then make them bigger because they're already big.
They're already pretty big. Anyway, so they're like, all right, we're never going to get up there if we keep bickering. So they morph at some point,
right?
Obviously, and
well, this is where they start to work together because like Titanus is attacking them. They duck behind a rock, and then I think Tommy's like, he lies first of all because he's like, "Oh, you're faster than me. You should go." I don't think Jason's faster than Tommy.
No, I think that should have been you're tougher,
or it could have been like I can distract, or Jason should have been like you can distract him more because you've got like energy beams and stuff.
Yeah.
So like if you know what I mean. Yeah. But like that would have been Jason saying like I should run up the mountain.
Right. Instead, it was Tommy going, "You should run up the mountain," and maybe Jason is quicker at running up mountains. Because, like,
maybe
being the fastest karate man alive doesn't necessarily translate to mountain climbing,
right?
So maybe he was just like, you're faster.
He has to climb, and he's obviously stronger. Like he's bigger,
yeah.
So maybe he can climb faster. That makes more sense,
right?
All right, I'll go with it. But then he's like, I'm not going to let you go unprotected. And it's the first instance of the Green Ranger giving his shield to another Ranger.
And naked Green Ranger looks weird.
It looks really weird, especially when he keeps the armbands.
Yeah. Can't take those. Those are his. Those aren't part of the shield combo until Zach gets it later. I think Zach has the armbands when he gets the shield for that one episode.
Is it? I thought it was Adam that got it.
Maybe it is Adam.
I think it's Adam. But that's all American footage. So he gets the garbage one anyway.
Right, he gets the floppy Halloween costume one. But yeah, and then Jason gives Tommy his sword, so he can do like sweet like sharpening blade beams.
Yep. And Tommy calls Titanus ugly at one. He's like, "Hey, ugly!" And he fires a beam at him
because he's distracting him.
All right,
and everyone knows Brontosaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosauri hate it when you call them ugly.
Oh,
It's their biggest pet peeve. They hate
Yep.
it. That's why they all died.
So Tommy gives his shield to Jason and then draws all the attention to himself.
Yep.
Like, I understand. Jason's going for
He's in
the
line
weapons
of
that they don't
fire.
know what they are. He's going for whatever's going to beat
Right.
the super putties. So it's more important that Jason makes it, which I get. But, like, he's still protected by the Power Ranger suit.
Plus, you think that big bulky shield would slow him down a little bit?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the same range of motion. Anyway, it doesn't matter because Jason gets to the top of the mountain.
He gets there.
And he opens up this treasure chest, which has a bunch of guns in it. Which is
They're weird, like,
slingshot guns.
slingshot crossbow guns.
Yeah. And then because they off-screen teleport back to the factory, and they shoot some putties, which
The guns say Zoo Ranger on
Yeah,
them, which I want to bring up because it's very clear. There's a close-up of the gun
Yeah.
that says Zoo Ranger on
Yeah.
it.
And so they shoot the putties, and they just melt immediately.
Yep.
One-hit kill.
There was one point when the other Rangers were just fighting the putties while Jason and Tommy were trying to get the guns that they knocked one apart and he just gooped back together.
Yeah, he just like rattled back together. Yeah, it was
It
weird.
was weird.
So they're like, here's some guns, guys. Kill the putties. And so they shoot the putties.
So what the super putty does is it takes the time limit off of putties.
Yeah.
Is that they're there forever. Because before they don't, I mean, sometimes you knock them down and they disappear, but after like 3 minutes, they all go away.
They just leave, yeah. Except for those two from the second episode. They're just wandering out in the desert. Best friends. Don't need to eat or drink because they're made of putty.
There's putties.
They're
So they're
putties.
just walking around
Yeah.
all like...
So then we go back to
They're probably just stuck on cacti.
the juice bar. They melted, probably.
Oh,
They
yeah.
slowly. Oh, now it's a horror story. Now it's tragic. They're just like, oh, I'm sorry, we're best friends, and we're melted. It's just a pile of putty out in the desert somewhere. Then we go back to the juice bar, where Jason and Tommy are the double dragons,
Yep.
straight up double dragons. But they're both wearing black, but with their own headband, so you can tell which one it is. And this is what was Kimberly wearing part 2. It's not going to be long. She's wearing a pink sundress.
And then Jake died, so that's why it's
That's
so
why
short.
it's not going to be long. And she is wearing the crap out of this dress
She dressed up for Tommy's
for
karate
her
meet.
friends, but Tommy.
She wants Tommy to notice her at basically since Tommy was
How
introduced.
could he not?
But like, it's weird. I don't know what's taking Tommy so long.
It's
Because
me in high school.
he made her float again for her.
right.
Why aren't they just dating at this
You'd
point?
think after that, she'd be like,
She's already like, yeah, definitely.
let's do it.
And he's like, yeah, but I'm not going to tell her yes yet.
Right. I gotta feel this out.
Right.
I'm not sure what signal she's sending me. Her eyes are giant cartoon hearts, Tommy. Anyway, now that I'm alive again through witchcraft and modern science, I also want to point out that Zach was wearing his karate pants again.
Yes, for the karate,
For the karate
competition.
tournament. He dressed up too
He did.
in his karate pants.
I'll have to get a good screen cap of those because there's some kind of logo on them too. And then
Yeah.
I'll make a karate shirt.
And then we will put links that you can go buy that at.
Yep.
Zordon calls him.
Yep.
Right before, and they're like, they all give this look of like, we have a thing. We just did our thing. Like, we
Right.
can't. 2 in 1 day is too much, Zordon. And then, but Zordon's like, good job beating the, working together and teamwork, etc. And Jason's like, yeah, we still got to beat Titanus, though. And he's like, no, you don't. Titanus is my bro, and I tricked you. You were bragged. Like, why? Zordon is a bad person.
He's trying to teach them
Lessons the worst way.
He's trying to teach Tommy and Jason how to be a team
by getting his
by
giant
trying
dinosaur
by
friends
trying
to kill them. That's way
It's
too
awful.
far. I like Zordon less and less every episode. Or Zordan, as Jason David Frank spells
Zordan.
it. Anyway, so now this is the ninja.
This is the ninja competition finals.
Ultimate Ninja. What's it? Team Ninja Finals. They are a team of ninjas. They're obviously Team Double Dragon.
Right. Versus Team Ninja.
Versus Team Actual Ninja. And so they start the match where it's regular sparring. Jason versus Ninja number 1. So Ninja number 1 and Jason are fighting. Jason straight up kicks him in the crotch. Or the midsection.
The bread basket.
Yeah. It's basically, he kicks him in the pelvic bone just above the downstairs mix-up.
Right.
And like, when I think about getting kicked there, like, I want to lay down. Like, because
while I was watching this, I was thinking
that's a part that doesn't get struck very often.
I was thinking about what I was going to say, and I was like, I really like that Power Rangers, like, makes the Rangers human by not making them be completely dominant, but they only took like 2 falls.
The only one they each fell once.
Yeah.
Jason and Tommy fell.
So they were very dominant over these legitimate threats from earlier.
Yeah, and then
because now they figured out how to be a team,
right.
So they're way better at singles competition now.
Yeah, well, it's a tag match.
Yeah.
So, because Jason tags out, or the other ninja tags out, and then Tommy goes, like,
Jason wins the round, so the ninjas switch.
But then
Jason's like ready to keep going, and Tommy's like, no, and he blind tags him because they're such a good team.
They're a good team. But then Jason's not like mad about it. He's like, oh, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're fresher. That's definitely a good idea.
So then this is also the like regular hand-to-hand combat sparring where Jason David Frank is so smooth, we might as well start calling him Butter.
He does that jump and spin kick and then uses the momentum from that when he lands to transition into a sweep.
Carry him into a sweep. It was crazy. Like, first of all, he jumped 11 feet in the air.
Yeah.
He kicked several feet over the ninja's head.
Yeah.
And then landed, but didn't like just boom land. Like he landed in a spin and swept the leg, Johnny. And it was awesome. That guy is really good at karate. He's just so good.
Yeah.
But then he gets knocked down.
He gets back up again.
You're never going to keep him down.
No, definitely not.
So then it's bow staff time. And I put bow staff with a question mark at the end because he's the giant cotton swabs.
Right.
It's not really a bow staff.
It's not a bow staff. They said what it was called, but I don't remember.
No, they straight up said bow staff.
Oh, they did say bow staff?
That's what they called them. They're like bow staffs. Because then they did the
well, like, it's not a real fight, so maybe it is a bow staff. They just padded the ends.
Right. It's like a quarter staff at best. Cause
right.
It's a short one. But anyway, Jason is the one fighting with the bow staff. And then...
Right, because if you'll remember from the show and tell 20 episodes ago,
yes,
he was really good at spinning it in front of the class.
Good at stabs. So but here's the thing, and it's just a little weird to me. They switch out because they go to Shinai's. So then Tommy has the Shinai, which is a sword, which is Jason's weapon. You'd think that he would have...
Yeah, but Jason David Frank is way better at Shinai's than Austin St. John.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't bad. We didn't see him.
No, he wasn't bad, but like
perform except for that 1 second with Tommy.
Jason David Frank does demos with
He'll
them.
light him on fire.
He'll light him on fire,
swing him around.
Yeah, that's like his thing.
Yeah,
I just think most of the unmorphed stuff, if it's some martial arts or some kind of competition, it's just a cast show off.
Yeah, absolutely. So... I think to justify it, we'll say that Jason is using a staff because it's a callback to his secret,
right?
His show and tell talent.
Really, I think it's just that Jason David Frank is better at swords than with staves.
Yeah,
he's still really good at staves.
Yeah,
but I mean, he couldn't do the whole thing.
Fair, they're both very good at both.
He had to give Jason something to do because they tag in and out.
Yeah,
so he had to do one or the other.
Right, but then. Hold up a minute, playa. Now it's a tornado tag match.
Finally. The teamwork finally comes into play.
For 1 second, because they handily stomp the ninjas. It's not a competition. It's a demonstration, basically, at that point. And then Trini says, like, you guys learned how to Gung Ho.
Well, she also says it at the beginning. She's like, "Yeah, guys, you guys got a gung ho, woo!" She said it like 4 times during the competition.
She's really trying to make gung ho a thing, and it's not going to be a thing. Just like fetch isn't a thing. It's for Mean Girls.
I haven't seen Mean Girls in a while.
Oh, in a while. Okay,
I have seen Mean Girls.
You've never seen Mean Girls, and
it's on Netflix now.
Yeah, then that's what I know what we're doing next time. Hanging out, we'll watch that and we'll watch Heather's because I still got to watch that. Anyway, there's like a announcer. Michael Buffer is like, the judges will make their decisions. But they never do. They never show judges making decisions. Ernie just shows up with a trophy and goes, here you go, guys.
Well, during the competition, like, when it got to the team part, like, it cuts to the judges, and there's, like, one Chinese judge in the middle nodding at the other judges. Like, yes.
Yeah, we're judging right now.
We are,
in fact.
Judging them approvingly.
So they
win, obviously.
Bulk's like, Skull, get some water for our ninjas.
So Skull grabs a pail of water.
And just, he goes to, like, I guess, give it to them to drink out of, like, their horses, but he steps on his foot and just throws it
on Bulk.
Womp, womp.
And everybody laughs.
But that's it. That's the episode.
That's the whole episode, because then it cuts back to Jason and Tommy laughing on the ring apron.
Laughing because they're such good tag team partners.
And then it freezes, and we get a bop, 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 and credits.
Yeah. Final thoughts.
Yep.
That's one thought, first of all. It's not even a good one.
Well, yep. I liked it. It was good.
It was good. I like the they can't work as a team stuff was a little heavy handed, but I mean it's Power Rangers.
Not as heavy handed as the Gung Ho stuff.
Yeah, that was way worse. I really enjoy watching Jason David Frank be a karate guy.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing. I have nothing else to say about the episode. I think we pretty much covered it.
Yep. I think we're good.
Yeah. So, again, if you want to hang out with us on the internet, morphingood.tumblr.com, which I haven't updated in several episodes. Maybe by now I have. All right. So, future to me, past to you, Jake, may have updated, may not. Either way, that's where all of our episodes are housed. Soon, maybe we'll have links to T-shirts that you can buy.
Maybe.
If you want to get crazy with it.
I kind of want to make one of melting best friend putties, but I can't draw, so.
I know some people. Anyway. Yeah. littleidiots.morphingrid@gmail.com is our email. Email us questions or comments or whatever. Email us anything you want. Also, we're like 2 episodes ahead of you as of right now, so like you may have emailed us and we haven't gotten to it, so we'll get to it eventually.
We will get to it.
And lastly, @MorphinGrid on Twitter, which is the best place to get a hold of us because
that's the place to get the quickest response. And I say that now, just remembering that we got a DM on Twitter.
It.
You did?
I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
because I was gonna, and then I did not.
Yeah, I didn't DM him back. I'm still I'm awful at everything.
Okay,
but I did talk about what he said on.
The problem is that I got the alert at work.
Yeah, and if that happens, then you have to put it in your brain for the rest of the day, or else you'll lose it. Anyway, that was episode 26, Gung Ho. Join us next week. I'm looking at the list right now. It's Wheel of Misfortune. I have no idea what it's about. So that's what we're going to do next week, a.k.a. immediately right now.
Right now.
So until next time,
may the power protect you.
I edit all the dead airs between like us figuring out what we're doing, like because it's more time, so it sounds like we have it together.
That's good.
They'll never know the truth, though.